So thank you, Dr. Michal Biton, for the presentation. We are Shir Yakov and Elad Shpindel, architecture student at Bezalel, and the catalogers of the Guini archive in the project, which is currently still being cataloged process. Before we talk about the archive, we will start by telling a little about Ben Sion. So, Elad.
Thank you. So Ben Sion Guini was born in 1869 in Izmir, Turkey, and he moved to Ottoman Palestine in 1883. 3 years later, he went to study mechanical engineering in Paris on behalf of the Alliance School in Jerusalem. 7 years later, he returned to Palestine and taught at the Alliance School, and in the following years completed engineering studies in Paris and London. In 1911, Guini settled down in Palestine and was appointed city engineer of Jaffa by the Ottoman government. On this role, he designed, among other things, the Hassan Bek Mosque and the Berkeley's Bank in Jaffa. In 1917, he was invited by the mayor of Jerusalem, Hussein Salim al-Husseini, to serve as Jerusalem's first city engineer. Surprisingly, even after Palestine was occupied by the British, Guini continued in the position under the Mandate regime until he retired in 1926 for medical reasons. As the city engineer of Jerusalem, Guini worked in urban planning of neighborhoods, planning main roads in the downtown area, planning infrastructure and parceling of various neighborhoods, and in architectural planning of buildings. Ben Sion was also engaged in development of renovation of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. During the Ottoman rule, he was designed buildings outside Jaffa in Jerusalem, such as the Gaza City Hall and the renovation of the Cave of the Patriarchs. For many years, the Guini archive remained a mystery, and it was not known what happened to the most of the sketches Guini made during his year as an architect of Jaffa and Jerusalem. And only when we went through the documents and lists left behind by Aryeh Guini, Ben Sion's grandson, we learned about the tragedy that led to the loss of many documents. During the 1948 war, most of the archives material were burned in the bombing of Jerusalem. And the existing archive now consists the materials collected by Aryeh over the years. Aryeh attached many notes and comments to the original documents, as well as translation from Arabic, English, and French. The archive arranged by Aryeh is loaded with his documents accompanying the original documents that help us understand the story of Ben Sion's work. In addition to comment regarding the source and contents of the documents, Aryeh produced copies of many documents out of concern for the preservation of the material in the future. This presented us a great challenge of sorting and archive and identify the original materials. Documents from later periods were also attached to Ben Sion's archive, many of which deal with the members of the Guini family. Aryeh was also careful to collect historical materials on the topics that interested him, on which we will expand later. Over the years, Aryeh became known as someone who was interested in historical documents. And in the archive, we found documents to which were attached notes and letters from friends who wanted to share with him various materials they found. The Guini archive was transferred to the project courtesy of Guini family. The archive was kept as Aryeh arranged it, with many materials preserved in plastic bags and notes and translations written on appendices to the original material. Aryeh clearly understood the importance of documenting and preserving the original materials, and he was aware to the historical importance of clarity of the archive even after he passed away. As we approached the process of opening the archive, we realized that we faced a great challenge of arranging the material. We had to sort and catalog from many materials to which copies has been added, as well as item-level materials, whose common denominator was not always clear to us. At the end of the process of planning the archive structure, we chose to divide into 4 divisions that together present one continuous story, which present the Guini archive for its variety of characters, events, and structures documented in it. As we mentioned, the archive is divided into 4 divisions: architecture, personal materials, historical materials, and publication and journalism. The architecture division includes a series of maps collected by Arya from Ben Zion's archive and variety of maps collected by Arya himself. It also includes projects by Ben Zion, most of them from his tenure as architect of the city of Jerusalem. The personal material division includes documents and records of Ben Zion and other personal materials of the Guini family. The historical materials division includes Arya collections, some of which related to Ben Zion, and other publication, and the publication and journalism division includes publications by both Ben Zion and other family members. One of the most interesting subjects we found in the archive is cinema Zion cinema, I'm sorry. Many materials archived about the cinema have also become a professional challenge. The cinema is not only a story of a building designed by Ben Zion, but also a family story and a portfolio that contains significant historical materials from the period before the establishment of the State of Israel. Zion Cinema was founded by Yitzhak Peretz, a relative of Ben Zion, and Israel Got in the center of Jerusalem. The original building of the cinema collapsed, and Ben Zion was asked to design the new cinema building. Ari collected for the archive Ben Zion's architectural materials from the planning of the building, as well as administrative files and the day-to-day operation of the cinema. Aryeh, who collected the planning materials, probably saw fit to add the management materials of the cinema to this documentation as part of an attempt to create complex and ramified picture of the family story in Jerusalem. The administrative files contains many materials relating to film orders, correspondence with authorities and more, relating to the story of Jerusalem at important moments in the history of the State of Israel. For example, letters were found requesting the assistant of the cinema promote the Hebrew language to contribute various means to the War of Independence and to join the cultural boycott of Germany in the years leading up to the World War II. Inside the cinema's exchange of letters, we also found one letter from German lawyer representing one of the Templar settlers in Jerusalem who sued the cinema for libel during the Nazi era when Peretz and Gott called him Hitler's agent. In retrospect, after the establishment of the state, Aryeh collected a lot of material about the Templars in Jerusalem who were active in the Nazi party, apparently out of his personal interest in this subject. In conclusions, although the archive is divided into 4 separate divisions, we found cases that makes up the 4 units, like the Zion Cinema case, into one complete story. Guini archive will be accessible in the public during this current year as part of the Jerusalem Archives project. Thank you very much for listening.